Look at that. We're back. It feels like we've been gone for like a freaking year, but we've only been gone for a week. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geeks Company and another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. Got a special guest this week with us, Stephanie Lalonde, a.k.a. Red Moon Glassworks. How are you, Stephanie?
I'm great. Good to see you guys.
How happy is it making you that her last name's French? I'm just throwing it out there.
We're gonna talk about that. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about
you,
that.
Like that's the third time you've given her whole name, and you've more Frenched it every time you've said it.
Stephanie Lalonde.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Ouais, c'est moi.
There you go.
Oh, gosh. You know what? I'm just gonna be in the back room. You guys just go ahead and do the podcast. I'm gonna.
Of course, you can hear him. My co-host, Aka. Messiah Complex Cosplay. How you doing, buddy?
It'd be hard to miss me. I'm doing well. For those of you that are only joining us here on YouTube, we apologize, guys. Yes, last week we had it scheduled. Some of you were actually in the chat going, "Where podcast?" We did cancel it sort of last minute. We're not going to get into all the wheres and hows and whys, but regardless, we're here back this week. Everything's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with the podcast. We're still going to be here every week. And this week, as JS mentioned, we're talking to Stephanie. I'm not going to try to mangle her last name because I can't Frenchify it the way he's done. Stephanie, Red Moon Glassworks. So she's a cosplayer. She is a vendor at these cons. We're going to get into all of that. But first, JS, there's been a shit ton of news in the geek world that we need to cover some of. First and foremost, finally.
Well, I think the first thing we need to cover is, guys, if you haven't clicked that goddamn subscribe button, what are you fucking waiting for? Click the subscribe button. Oh, and click that like button too while you're at it. It's completely free, and it really helps us out.
I don't feel like that's new news. What's the new news, JS?
Strike's over.
The fucking strike is over. Both strikes are over.
It's
Christ.
I don't think the CBA has been ratified yet. But my understanding is there is an agreement in place. Both sides have tentatively agreed. People are going back to work. The SAG-AFTRA strike, as well as the writer's strike, are now over. But there's a lot of concerns going around about that because apparently they signed their AI rights away now.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any details on the new contract, so that I don't know.
So I haven't seen any of the details either. This is the person that was commenting on this was somebody involved in the well, maybe not the negotiations, but somebody that's part of the union that was privy to some of this information. And it sounds like there are some AI rights being signed away that a lot of people may not be happy with. So we'll have to see if this really is the end of the strike or if this is all going to get kiboshed. But for now, people are back at work.
They are.
We're going to get new shows again. Well, in like a year now, but you know, we're going to get
new
shows
about
again.
That before too. We mentioned that before. So guys, prepare. There's going to be a dearth of completed projects on streaming and in theaters, very likely, especially for the first half of 2024, because all of those productions would have been hitting streaming and theaters then that have been out for the past 100 plus days between the two strikes. So get ready. And you're probably going to see what's already kind of happened a little bit is you're going to see some stuff that was earmarked for a theatrical get shifted over to streaming because there's a much smaller window to do that. You may see some of that as well. Stuff that was sort of maybe smaller, non-superhero budgeted projects, non-spectacle movie budgeted projects you may see going over to streaming instead. But anywho, Stephanie, where are you on this whole SAG-AFTRA thing? It was all over all of our feeds forever. A lot of people even that didn't even really have any skin in the game felt like they had skin in the game because they were telling cosplayers what they couldn't cosplay and blah, 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 even though nobody were actual union members and such. Where did you fall on this whole strike thing?
Honestly, I'm just relieved. I've got a lot of friends who are in the industry who have been out of work for so long. And I know that they're just thrilled to just go back. I do know that there are a lot of different areas about what cosplay is for promotional purposes, because I know there are people going, well, if you're cosplaying struck content and you're being invited to places maybe by the company for free, but getting also like the free tickets to go in, that's advertising for them. If you're putting it up on, that's free advertising for the company, and that's, some people see like that's not kosher, but It's interesting because most people are like cosplayers for the most part, unless they're in the industry itself, are not union. And
Well, that's the key, right?
yeah, so I'm of two minds about it. Like I get it because I mean I'm a teacher, I union and I understand the importance of being part of the union and staying with that, and just how much of the responsibility lies on the individual to go with the union that they are not part of or have any intention of being. If you have an intention of being in the union, if you're a writer or if you're an actor or in working in film or television in any way, maybe that's not the best idea because I do know that the industry has a very long memory. So that might be a thing you have to think about. But if you're not, it's a little bit.
Yeah, I
Totally.
feel like impactfully, like the vast majority of people that we feature on the podcast have at the booth stuff. Like none of us are hundreds of thousands of followers. None of us are professionally paid cosplayers. Like none of us are doing this for a living. So I feel like you've got 500 followers and you're going to 3 cons a year and someone's telling you can't dress up as this or that. That seems incredibly silly to me. I understand there's different levels and different layers of how that could possibly affect your work, but let's be fair. Like, I want to go to Fan Expo as my favorite this character, and you know what? Go as your favorite goddamn character. Like, you're not a big time professional cosplayer. I'm not mall cosplay, right? I'm just this idiot. I'm just Messiah Complex cosplay. 14 people are going to see me at this con. I think I'm going to be okay. I, like you though, I'm relieved that it's over. I also have friends in the industry, in the business, especially on the acting side. We've had some on the podcast as far. We've had people in the industry on the podcast a couple of times now. So I'm just relieved that it's over and they can get back to work. And it seems like some of them are getting like right back to work. Like one of our favorite shows, Strange New Worlds, is right back to work. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the productions were able to at least keep up on ancillary things that did involve writers and actors. So production value wise, some things were able to kind of keep like to a point where they could jump right back in. Mm-hmm. Not everything could, but some could. So at least we have that. JS, where are you on all this? What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much where you're at. I'm glad it's over. I hope the actors are going to get what they want, or at least what they deserve. I think we had this discussion a couple weeks ago when we were talking about this, that only the top few percent, like maybe 1 or 2% of the actors make millions of dollars a year. The rest are all people that live paycheck to paycheck, trying to find gigs here and there. And you know, so I really, really hope that these people aren't getting screwed with this new CBA and that they're getting what they deserve. That I think is the important part. I'm willing to rewatch Ghostbusters Afterlife 14 times. You know what I mean? I don't need Frozen Empire right away. I can rewatch that movie 14 times if it means I have to wait for them to get the deal that they deserve. Like, do you know what I mean?
Sure, of course.
So, you know, I'm not starved for content in that sense. Flip side is there's a lot of people, like you say, people that we know that are out of fucking work because of this, right? Like, you know, people want to make a living and they should be allowed to make a living, right? Like, just, you know, you really have to make $56 billion a year. Like, you know, how about you give a couple millions of those away? You know?
No, I
like
agree.
just you know, and maybe people will be actually happy to work for you. Like, I don't understand the concept sometimes. That's why I'm not a businessman, I suppose. But yeah,
yeah, I think it was that Kevin Bacon interview that really kind of woke me up to it. Kevin Bacon was like, "Yeah, this isn't for me. I don't need that. I'm good." But the majority of actors and actresses out there are living hand to mouth, and that's what this is for. That's why I'm on the picket line. I'm not on the picket line for me. I don't need the money. They need the money. But I am of a very, very small class of actors, working actors that don't need the money. So that was cool of him to say. He didn't have to get up there and say that. So that's great. And yeah, I'm just, fuck, man, am I ever glad it's over? Because no slight to any of our friends, but yeah, having it just constantly in my feed of people just berating other people for whatever it was they were or were not doing. I was like, oh, let's just stop policing everybody. Guys.
Yeah, that got a little extra.
Yeah.
Like, stop telling people what to do.
or what not to do, or
right? Like
like,
who the fuck are you to
guys,
start telling people what they
let's
can and
just-
can't
yeah,
do?
that's all.
Yeah.
We're all just having fun. Let's just all chill a little bit.
And I'm also with you with the whole cosplay community about cosplay whoever you want to freaking cosplay.
Yeah, it's
Right?
not-
Like I understand
in where
that,
we're at, the level we're at. There's no point in browsing about what you're going to cosplay. Personally,
like
I feel that.
I understand all these cosplayers being invited to these premieres and they're not being paid to be there. Sure, they get to go see the movie for free and it's free publicity for the movie, but to me that's a good exchange, right? I get some exposure out of it and I get to promote your movie and you know, it is what it is. The bigger issue I have is studios then turning around and wanting to sue fucking makers for making these cosplays that they then want to come to their premieres, right?
Yeah,
That's a big issue.
Yeah.
It's a big issue in the industry right now, and studios should be ashamed of themselves for doing what they're doing because it's absolutely bonkers to me the amount of makers that are being shut down right now on Etsy and all these different sites. Like, come on, guys. What's going on here? Like, they're making these things because they have a passion for your franchises and you're shitting all over them.
They want you to make it for you to wear to promote their thing. What they don't want you to do is you to make it for her and you profit off of that, and then she goes out and wears it to promote their thing, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. It's fucking terrible. Like, that line is silly to me, but they're super Disney's the worst, super protective of their IP.
God, yeah.
Right. So
and I completely appreciate that. And there's something.
By the way, dude, it's not just makers. If you guys all know the tale of Niagara Spider-Man, he got slapped with a cease and desist for doing like birthday parties and events and shit as Spider-Man. Disney's lawyers got in touch with him and they're like, "You're not doing this anymore. You cannot make a thin dime in this." All of the 501st Rebel Legions guys cannot make a single dime. They can't even be at an event. Like, they can't even get freebies at events because of their agreements with Lucas. So as long as there's no money changing hands, you might be okay. But as soon as there's money involved, we want that money. You don't get that money. That's our money. Why do you get that money? Well, maybe if you guys put out some really cool costumes for us to wear.
See, Nate agrees with me.
Oh, yeah.
That's
bread and butter.
Fucking right.
Yep. Anywho,
we can't talk about the strike for the whole show, guys, because that's all. I mean, we could, I'm sure, talk about it for an hour.
I'm sure we could.
I think everybody knows by now that me and Jeff are massive Trekkies. I didn't know, but apparently Stephanie's a Trekkie too. Although you haven't finished. Have you started watching the last season of Lower Decks, or have you just not finished?
Yeah,
it yet?
I just haven't finished it yet. So I have started it. It's been really good. So really excited for that.
It was so good. I keep saying it. If you're a Trekkie and you're not watching Lower Decks, you are missing out. It is the nerdiest, most Easter egg filled love letter to Star Trek that I've ever seen. It's so fucking good. This last season, it was amazing. Like, I think it was the best one so far.
Yeah,
I work so good.
I work in I drive forklift, and I work in like a warehouse. So I work with like roughnecks. Like, I work with like dirty dudes that are they're not nerds, they're not geeks, they're not nothing. And one of them but they know I am. And one of them came up to me literally 2 days ago. He's like, "Yeah, my son and I just started watching this Lower Decks thing, this animated series. This is fucking great. I'm loving every second." He's never watched him and his son have never watched a single Star Trek of any kind. And they're still loving the show.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
like, boy,
there you go.
I'm like, stick around, because it just keeps getting better and better and better as you go.
Yeah.
So it's whatever it is, man, it's working.
And JM in the chat, live action crossover was wild. I loved it so much.
Those old
it was
scientists.
so much fun.
Yeah,
I would consider that a Lower Decks episode, because
great fellow forklifter, absolutely.
When Jonathan Frakes did like an interview about, because he directed that episode. So he was doing an interview about, when they were getting ready to shoot, and then when they were finalizing the script, and what they specifically wanted to do was a Lower Decks episode in live action. That's what they were setting out to do. So I'm going to consider that episode part of Lower Decks season 4. That's it. And
it's not Strange New Worlds, guys. It's definitely
it's an episode of Lower Decks, and it was
what they have to do now is they have to do the inverse, right? They have to bring at least 2 or 3. Ideally, it would be Spock and Pike over to Lower Decks.
That'd be genius.
Yes,
That'd
I
be
agree.
great.
I mean, we did get kind of a brief glimpse of that at the end of that particular episode where they were all animated, which is very cool. Although I don't know why they had my boy Pike's hair normal. I don't know why they didn't have it like a foot high. Like it makes no
I
sense.
didn't get
they
that.
just
Why
gave
it
him
wasn't
normal
like
hair.
Johnny Bravo,
come on,
right?
man. Yeah,
Like,
100% should Johnny Bravo his hair. They did not. Yes, another one joins the Trek nerds. Yeah, so there will be a season 5. We know that. We don't know if there's going to be anything beyond that.
not yet.
I know they talked to Mike McMahon, the guy that's created and runs the show, and said they have laid out plans, tentative sort of story ideas for they could go 10 seasons. He said in his wildest dreams they would get to go 10. Usually Star Trek bottoms out right around 7 seasons. It's important to go out on top. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but guys too, understand Discovery is coming to an end. Next season of Discovery is the last of Discovery. So we know we're getting at least one more season of Lower Decks, and we know we're getting at least one more season of
Discovery.
But that's the last season, and then
Strange New Worlds. But after that, I mean, we don't know after that. There's
Love the hair
apparently
on
a like a TV special style movie in the works.
I'm sorry, what's this? What's this? What's this I'm seeing? What's this?
Yeah.
You sold a flask to Anson Mount?
Yeah. So it was Calgary Expo. I wasn't at that show. Josh, who's the other half of the team, he was out there because it's during school time, so I can't head out there. Okay. And he looked up, and there was Anson Mount just like looking at our stuff, and he goes, I need that flask. And Josh was like, well, is it the red or the gold? And he said, well, it's got to be the gold.
Gold,
so
obviously.
Of course. And I heard tell from a friend who may or may not have worked on the show that he has been seen somewhere on set.
Well, and what flask specifically did he get?
It was the gold Starfleet
insignia.
Delta. Yeah, insignia.
Wow. Awesome. Super sweet. Yeah, in case you guys don't know, that's Stephanie and Josh. Josh, you said, right? I'm assuming that's J.M. Frey, and that's it. So this is
that actually is my best friend. J.M. Frey is my best friend, but she's just here to support. She's awesome.
So this is what we're talking about. So this is from Stephanie here at Red Moon Glassworks. So this is the Witcher. This is a flask that it's full of booze right now, as a matter of fact. So yeah, obviously we'll just take a little bit of.
We're actually going to talk about
swiggeroo
Stephanie's business in a little bit here.
Salute.
There you go. Salute, buddy. There you go. Here, cheers. I'll join you on
that one. Yes, but we are getting to a point where the current batch of Trek is not. We don't know how much more Trek we're going to get. We would assume the success of the TV shows means we're going to get more Trek. They're still trying to fuck around with the movie thing and trying to figure out what they're going to do there. I don't know.
Well, they're apparently working.
I'm very worried about Starfleet Academy.
Style.
I'm not going to lie.
I thought that was canceled.
No, apparently that's still in development as well. But I'm hoping, because I did try to watch Gen V, which is like essentially like the CW version of The Boys. And I got 24 minutes in the first episode, and I was like, nope. So I'm worried that Starfleet Academy is going to have like a similar vibe. It's going to be geared toward a much younger, not kid audience, but sort of like that Gen Z alpha millennial style audience, which by the way, guys, I'm not shitting on it. It's just not for me. That's all it is. I'm sure it's good. I know people liked it. It's just not my jam. Nothing I can relate to. So, and then of course the Section 31 TV movie that Michelle Yeoh's going to be part of, right? But other than that, man,
that's it. We still don't know if Stranger World's going to get another season. We don't know if Lower Decks is going to get another season. I really hope so.
Yeah, me too. Because that 4th season was a banger.
It really was. It really was.
Yeah, Steph, you got to get on. I know you're busy, but you got to get on that as soon as you can, because it's.
Skill says I haven't brought myself to finish Star Trek Picard season 2. Season 1 wrecked me. Yeah, I mean season 2 is okay. There's some really good parts of season 2. The Q stuff is amazing. Too much filler in such a short season. That was my real issue with season 2 of Picard. Season 3 is probably my favorite season of Star Trek ever.
Chef's goddamn kiss.
Yeah, as much as I'm a Deep Space Nine guy, that was.
It was brilliant.
Shit. Yep.
As hard as Patrick Stewart fought against doing that, he finally relented and they finally had the reunion season they should have had right from the jump.
Yeah, imagine if that was season 1, how popular this show would be.
Crazy. It'd still be on.
It would still be on for sure.
Yeah, because he has said that he would be up for doing more.
Well, I would be okay with it, but don't. You've already said Picard season 3 was the final season.
Yeah, it has to be
something else.
Yeah,
right? And it should be whatever they were going to call it, right? Like the Titan show,
Legacy or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah, have him in like a Bruce Wayne and Batman Beyond mode, right? Like he's like not the main, but he's there, but he's overseeing that type of thing. So,
and then you can have different cameos from the other series show up here and there, and
exactly. Let's transition over. We have to talk about Loki.
Yes. Do we?
Because that we do.
Really?
We do. So here's the weird part about this is, so lately, because we're going to talk about the Marvels too, guys. So lately it seems like, especially with the Marvel stuff, it's the Loki stuff that I've been seeing, this is purely anecdotal, has been all 10s and 0s. Either it's like us, where we're just like, oh, this was brutal, or like, this is the greatest season of TV I've ever seen. Like, I haven't seen a lot of like middling reviews of it. Everything either seems to be like, this was fucking great, or this was dreck. So clearly, it seems like we're all of the same opinion. Why did I waste 6 hours of my life watching that? Am I getting that vibe from you guys?
Yeah,
or...
Stephanie
was kind of on the fence a little bit.
Okay, so I haven't actually finished it, but I'm in like the 4th episode. That's okay. I live on the internet. I know exactly what happens.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of inconsistency between storyline characters and things like that. It feels like some characters should have had more to do besides just react to the thing that is in front of them at that point in time. Like there was no. The side characters, it was just like, oh no, we have this. Let's go do the thing. There isn't a lot of character development. It was just very much on the page. That said, love Tom Hiddleston's portrayal. He has this amazing emotional range that he can tap into, and I feel like it was inconsistent with characters. So. But I know what happens. I just want to see how it actually plays out. But
it did seem very much like just a set of instructions, right? Where it was just like, this show, we're going to try to accomplish this, and then we're going to try to accomplish this, and then we're going to try to accomplish this, and then there'll be obstacles in our way that we'll have to overcome, and then we have to stop, which I guess is like sort of the plot for most of these types of shows. But yeah, you're right. It's almost like, and I don't want to get into the whole like multiverse thing, because A, is being beat to death, and B, none of it seems to follow its own rules from show to show and movie to movie and everything else. But man, like it just seemed like a really overcomplicated thing. And at the end of the day, by the time it was all said and done, I was like, what did we really accomplish here? Like, what really just happened for 12 episodes of my life? Did really anything actually change other than aesthetically? Like, there's still multiversal thing happening in different movies and TV shows. We're still getting the next season of What If. The trailer just dropped for that. That's still doing a bunch of multiverse shit. Clearly, there's going to be more multiverse stuff in the Kangs. Like, there's not, like, we'd already introduced the concept of the multiverse. And then we just had 12 episodes that was trying to explain how that works. And none of the rules in that applied to any of the rules on the other things. So it's just, what did we do? We turned a branch into a tree, and we
cut it off, and then we regrew it, and then we cut it off again.
Yeah.
And then we regrew it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, well, what the fuck is going on here? And that was my main issue with the show is from one episode to the next, especially in the early episodes, nothing made sense. Like, they were going from one extreme to the next. And now, I want to say this. The acting in season 2 of Loki was amazing. OB was fantastic. Tom Hiddleston was fantastic. I mean, they were all good. I'm not going to lie. The acting was great. The show visually looked great. It
didn't make any sense. It just seems so such a giant waste of time.
Pointless, right? You just end back up where you started, basically.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so there was no point to this. Like,
can anybody tell me the point of Victor Timely? Can anybody please tell me the point of Victor Timely? Because at the end of the day,
Well, he
that
created
character.
the
No, but he
TVA.
didn't, though. That's at the end of the day, but he didn't, because in the final timeline version, the book never ends up in his room when he's a child. So he never actually becomes anything.
Well, well, there you go. Who knows?
That's what I mean. Like, everything that happened,
I-
it seemed like at the end of the day, none of it mattered on any
Yeah.
level. Like, everything just kind of stayed the same. And this was just like a masturbatory 6-hour thing that we know you love Tom Hiddleston. We know you love Key. We're going to give you them too, as much as you can handle. Oh, and some Owen Wilson thrown in as well.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what it felt
yeah,
like.
but that's the thing with time travel shows, is that things get weird, and then you start to try and close the loops, and some of them just don't close, and they should, but they don't. It's time travel.
Yeah, but it's not just time travel. It's also multiversal, and they don't seem to really
Yeah.
play by really good rules between those two things, or at least they don't take enough time, even though the show had way too much exposition as it was. They don't spend enough time telling you the difference between those two things, because clearly they're two different things, but they don't differentiate them enough. Yeah, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. Yeah, side-eyes Doctor Who. No, fair. But I don't know, man. I don't. We could shit on Loki, we could talk about Loki in a very calm and respectful manner all night long. At the end of the day, it's done. What impact will it have on the greater MCU? Because there is other news regarding, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen that article or not, but
they're moving away from him.
They may move away from Jonathan Majors depending on how his trial is going to go. He's involved in a domestic abuse case.
I feel like this was a way to leave themselves an out.
The
way that this plays out, we never hear from Kang again. Oh, well, his storyline was done, right? If we never, I don't know. I feel like it was a way to end it if it needs to end. That's, I feel like, what the purpose of Loki was.
Fair. Now, to be said, all of this, the entire show had been written and at least shot before the legal troubles with Jonathan Majors.
Was it, though?
Yes. According to every article I've read, it was all already, at least, I don't know if post was done. I'm assuming it wasn't, but at least it was written and shot in that time frame. So
yeah.
Regardless, I think it's going to be interesting. A lot's going to depend on what happens with Majors and whether or not they're going to stick with him, much like DC did with Ezra or not, and decide where to go from there. If they don't, the rumor is they'll pivot to Doctor Doom, which I think would be obviously a neat way for them to introduce the Fantastic Four as far as an overarching villain goes. But they've already named it the Kang Dynasty, even though the Kang Dynasty's director just left the projects.
That movie could just be canceled. I mean, it's that simple, right?
I think a lot of things are in flux right now, so we'll see what happens. But
yeah. While we're on the subject of Marvel, I do want to speak about the Marvels quickly, because the Marvels came out last weekend. And like Andre is saying, he liked the Marvels. Actually, is getting all right reviews. Like, when you go to Rotten Tomato, the audience score is actually high, whereas last time for Captain Marvel, the audience score was garbage. The critics were just raving about it. Now it's the opposite. The critics are hating this one. The audience is liking this one. The main problem is right now is that they're crashing at the box office. Like, they're going to lose money on this movie. For sure, at this point, they're going to lose money on this movie. Big budget movies like this usually make half of their budget back in the first week. They're nowhere close to that so far. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on at Marvel right now, but I feel like this movie's getting the Solo treatment. What do you guys think?
I haven't seen it yet. That's a hope for, honestly, probably after my last show. But I don't know. It looks like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's what a comic book movie should be. It should be fun. It should be interesting. It should have good character development. And the leads all bring some amazing energy to it. And I'm just really excited to see it. I don't have a lot more to say about that.
I'm trying to be as careful as I possibly can, because I want to make sure that it's not, because I think I think whoever said it, Andre said it best, is the MCU is in a really awkward spot right now because they've had a few stinkers in a row, like Ant-Man Quantumania and then Thor Love and Thunder. So they've had a few, especially theatrical releases, and then Secret Invasion. So they've had a few things in a row that really sort of turn the audience off from the product. And of course, everybody's talking about superhero fatigue, and it's no secret that Marvel sort of has a formula that they've been using right since 2008 to kind of crank out very similar movies over and over and over again. And for 10 years, that worked really, really well. And now I think audiences are kind of catching on to the fact that I'm just going to see the same movie over and over and over again. So I don't think a lot of the talk online, a lot of the talk in regards to the overall, I don't know what you want to call political ramifications, as far as, I don't know, the left versus the right, the woke agenda versus whatever. Like, I don't really think that has as much of an impact as people are thinking it does. Look at Barbie. You know what I mean? I think you can still put out movies that have a message, that have female stars, and that people will go to see it if it's an enjoyable film that people are into and like the concept. I think we're just getting to a point now with the Marvel stuff where it's been there, done that. Unless you're going to really hit me with something that's really avant-garde, that's really going to capture my attention, and that's really going to build out a good story with great characters, I think people are going to have kind of caught on. They're kind of like, do I need to go see this? Can't I just wait for this to come on Disney Plus in 45 days and I'll just watch it then? That's the vibe that I'm getting. I don't know about you guys, but JS, where are you in this whole thing?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with what you're saying. I think that if Marvel feels creatively bankrupt. Marvel went through this phase, I want to say in like the mid 2000s in the comic books, right? Where they were having a hard time keeping comic books on the shelves, right? They would put a comic book out. Sorry. They were having a hard time selling comic books off the shelves. They were putting out titles and they were around for a couple issues and they were getting canceled. You know, actually, let's use Captain Marvel as an example. You know, Captain Marvel's been canceled once a year, every year. Like every book they put out, they cancel it a year later, right? So Marvel's been having a really, really hard time getting any kind of consistency in their comics. And it feels like that's bleeding into their movies. Now they're just putting out shit to put out shit, and it's lost its
joie de vivre.
Yeah, it lost its thing, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of people in the comments mentioning things like, you know, Mr. Myers Corp here mentioning or talking about the trailers, or the trailers, you know, killing our hypes for these movies. I don't know about that. Dean talking about streaming cutting into the movies that are in theaters. That I'll agree with, because knowing the movie's just going to be available on streaming in like a month, I don't have any incentive to go see it in the theater anymore, right? And Megan is talking about marketing. If it's well marketed, Barbie was a cultural moment. And Marvel didn't figure out a way to have viral marketing for the film. I'll 100% agree with that. Barbie did a great job at marketing, and I mean, it's Barbie, right? Let's be honest. It's the biggest franchise in the world, but still, they did a fantastic job at marketing and in getting asses in those seats.
It still comes down to getting, but not just getting asses in the seats, but getting your target audience's asses in the seats.
Yes.
Right? Women came out in droves. People that identify as women came out in droves to watch Barbie, not just because of the marketing, although the marketing was very, very important to that film, but that film resonated with women on a level that the Marvels doesn't seem to be. And I'm generalizing, and I'm only doing that based on the box office. They're just not going out to see it. That's the bottom line. And that's who should be going to see that film. So guys, if you want to support this film, get out and see the film. That target audience, that target demo, females 18 to 49, go buy tickets to the Marvels and go watch the Marvels, because it's important for you to do so that we have more female-led superhero stuff in the future. If you guys aren't going to see it, the guys aren't going to see it. Every one of you that bought a ticket to Barbie should be buying a ticket to the Marvels, and you're not, and it's causing an issue. And I'm not browbeating you guys. I'm just saying.
No, and maybe that's not your thing, though, right? Like, if you don't want to go see it, like, nobody's going to twist your arm to go see it and spend your hard-earned money to go see a movie you don't have an interest in it. But I think the point you're trying to make is for those type of movies to survive, if nobody has an interest in those movies, they're not going to survive. I mean, it's that simple.
You're not going
Right?
to get them anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Stephanie, go ahead.
Yeah. The other thing with the Barbie movie, though, like, people who are just have a passing interest in Barbie, but every single time that I went into the theater, and you could pick out the people who were going to see the Barbie movie because they were dressed up. And I know that cosplayers have a tendency to do that and go see a show, but this was people who don't cosplay were going in pink in rows, and you could pick them out of a crowd. You knew exactly which ticket they were going to. And that's the thing that isn't really happening. You're not getting people who don't normally do this to come out in full support like that. It's just not happening. So they need to figure out a way to get that to happen in order to get more people to see it.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I feel like you know what? We've talked about Barbie and Captain Marvel enough. I think we're good.
I know we're rabbit holding right now for sure.
Yeah, I think we're good.
The decline of the MCU. We could have a whole podcast about. We probably will, but
we should. But you know, before we do move on, though, I do want to mention, guys. There's a brand new stuff. There's brand new merch on the Geeks & Co site. That's right. Got a brand new merch drop. We've got a bunch of hoodies now available for the first time ever on our store. We've got some Geeks & Co hoodies available. There's 3 different variations of Geeks & Co hoodie available. There's the classic Geeks & Co logo. There's the square Geeks & Co logo and the brand new Geeks & Company University Department of Cosplay, where everybody's accepted. So you can get these in t-shirts as well as hoodies. And guys, I'm running a promo between now and December 24th. Every dollar you get to spend, or every dollar you spend on our store, gets you an entry to win one of my Mandalorian helmets. That's right. You can win either Armor, Bo-Katan, or Din Djarin. Now, the Din Djarin helmet's not quite done yet, guys, but, you know, you will be entered to win one of the helmets. So get your pick of which one you want. All you need to do is go pick something up on the Geeks & Co store. Now, there's a bunch of stuff there. There's T-shirts. The classic Winston tees are still available as well. You can get some 3D printed stuff. I'm going to have more props and things available on the store as well.
Hot damn, that's a great promo.
It is.
And
it
our
sure
friend
is.
Jamie is stoked for a GNC University hoodie. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm loving that logo.
Nada really also wants a University hoodie. Yeah, so you guys, you can get it in the hoodie. You can get it in the T-shirt. We should be doing hats. We're not doing hats yet, but I'm gonna.
We're not doing hats yet.
I'm putting a bug in his ear that we're gonna do hats. But yes, I still want that GNC hoodie. That's good. That's good.
The problem I've been having with hats is finding a proper hat.
Yeah, no,
that's been my issue, is finding a proper hat that I can get a regular supply of. This is why hoodies took so long to make, is for the exact same reason, is finding a good supply of hoodies that I could get regularly without them going out of stock all the time. So hoodies are there. T-shirts are now there. Jamie's saying hats are coming.
Hats coming soon. Jamie would know.
Keep your eyes open.
She's the store goblin. She would know.
Keep your eyes open.
So
that's right. So don't forget, guys, between now and December 24th, every dollar you spend, you get entered to win one of my custom Mandalorian helmets. The raffle will be in the new year. We'll figure out a time to do the raffle. Maybe we'll do it live on the podcast. The first podcast of the new year.
We'll do it live.
We'll do the raffle live. How's that? Right. So, guys, make sure you do that. Oh, and by the way,
you like that? You like that store goblin? Yeah, that's definitely
store goblin.
You are the store goblin.
If you order this week or next week, actually, if you order before December 1st, you also get a free leather key tag in each order. So there you go.
Now, when you'll also receive a free leather key tag with every purchase, Geeks & Co merchandise.
You now need to make it. You know what? You need to make us a commercial, bud. That's exactly what you need to do. You need to make us a commercial that we're going to play at the beginning of every video from now on.
Yeah, that doesn't sound super cheese at all, do you?
Hey, Stephanie,
you do.
Listen, I mean, we're like 40 minutes into the show now, and we really haven't gotten to you or, what you do. How about you start by telling us who you are and maybe how everybody tells us at first, how you got into cosplay.
All right. I'm Stephanie. I am one of the owners of Red Moon Glassworks. We do custom edge glassware. Technically this is one of ours. It's hard to tell right now. It's actually a ludology one, but which is the cafe that I'm in right now. And I got started in cosplay back in 2003 when JM Fry there is in the chat dragged me to Fan Expo, and she's like, "You'll love it. Let's do a thing." And I went, "Okay." I had been costuming for a long time. I'm a theater major. I did musical theater throughout high school, went into theater in university. I was involved in the SCA, which is the Society for Creative Anachronism, which is the medieval society, and loved making things, loved costuming, had been sewing for years and years. And she's like, no, this is cool. But you get to just like wear whatever you want, like anime or sci-fi or whatever. I went, okay, let's do it. And so I made Soy from Fushigi Yugi. That was my first costume. So anime from the early 2000s. And I believe Jess was Marimea from, was it Gundam Wing Endless Waltz? I think so. Sorry, not sorry. I know you are. And we had just a ton of fun and ended up meeting another one of my dear friends there. And that's, dear God, was 20 years ago now. And I'm still doing it.
So what came first, the cosplay or the vending?
Cosplay. Yeah.
Cosplay.
I started doing the vending briefly in 2008 when I was making tiny little jewelry things that were not very good. But they were trash. The 2010, there was a small steampunk show run by Adam Smith, which was an amazing show. It was this weird amalgamation of in a hotel, and we were all running. The vendors each ran their booth out of their hotel room, and it was like a whole con floor. And I had started making the etched glassware because at the time I was broke and taking a sabbatical from teaching and going back to do my master's. And I needed a housewarming present for friends. And I found this glass etching kit at Michael's. I went, sure, I'll do that. Made some housewarming gifts. So I went, you know what? I could probably sell some of these. Made a brief, tiny run, and they sold. I'm like, okay, well, let's bring these to Fan Expo a couple of months later. And then we sold everything. And I went, okay, we're doing this now. And I've been selling glassware since 2010.
And how many?
all-
Sorry, go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, I was just curious. Is this all laser etched? Is that how you work?
We started with chemical etching. Then we built ourselves a standing up etching machine, and we did it in the house once, and only once, and then brought it outside because then we had sand everywhere. Then we upgraded that machine, and then we finally upgraded to laser.
So you're doing laser
Yeah.
now.
Doing laser now, yeah.
So none of this
That's
stuff comes
great.
pre-etched. Like you guys are etching, you guys are buying the base materials, and then you guys are
Yeah.
etching every single piece that you're selling.
Every single piece, yeah.
And how many shows, because we were joking about it on the podcast throughout, do you know how many shows Red Moon Glassworks was at for 2023?
Lots.
Yeah,
okay.
sure was lots, wasn't it? Because it seemed every week you had something on the go that weekend.
It's been lots. It's probably close to 20.
Wow.
There were a couple that I was supposed to do, didn't end up doing. Then I added in another one, just kind of unexpectedly. So it's close to 20, somewhere around there. I know that
Mental.
September was nuts. I had a show actually between August and October. I think I had 6 shows.
Oof.
It's like mid-August to the end of September was 6 shows.
And you guys travel the country. Like you're
Yeah.
not just doing local Southwestern Ontario stuff. Like you guys are like, you did Edmonton, right?
Yeah, we did. We have done
Calgary.
Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Regina, Winnipeg, most of the shows in Ontario. We did Montreal. We did Quebec for the first time this year. In the past, we have also done HalCon. Anna Maritime in New Brunswick, and I did one in St. John's as well.
That's...
Weren't you in Ottawa as well this year?
Oh yeah, Ottawa. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Do Ottawa, do the most of the Toronto shows.
Okay, but like this
Down to
isn't
London.
your full-time gig though, right?
Nope.
So this is where it gets bonkers for me. So this is like for most people that would be what they do. This is not even what you do. This is like your fucking side hustle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a teacher. I'm a full-time teacher. I
Oh,
teach
wow.
music in French. So I teach at an immersion school.
What? How did you not like Loki since it's all about time travel and management? Clearly, how do you even have the time to sit here with us right now? Like that's bananas.
Yeah, I don't sleep. I don't know.
Yeah, clearly.
It's you know,
So
if I
then
could have it removed, I would. But
on top of all that, which is already fucking crazy, you also cosplay on top of all that, and you're involved in a cafe.
Yeah.
So before we get to the cosplay, give us some dirt on the cafe. Is that where you are right now?
I am in the basement. We have it's actually technically a 3-story building, but the main part is it's Ludology Board Game Cafe, and we've got a full menu. It's licensed. We do local craft beers, ciders, and wines and stuff. Cocktail game is out of this world. Jeremy, our bartender, is awesome. Food is fantastic. And we have over 650 board games to play for $5 per person.
And where is that? It
is in St. Catharines, in Niagara region.
And you're just a manager? You're a part, like, what's your involvement in it?
I'm a manager. I do the administration for it. Partial owner. I have some stock in this. And I just kind of make sure that things are running. I've done every single job in this building.
So you have skin in the game in Red Moon Glassworks, and then you have skin in the game in Ludology. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And you work full-time as a teacher. Get the fuck out of here. Like, are you 3 people? There's no way there's enough time in any single day, let alone a week, for you to do all that. And you cosplay.
Yeah. The cosplay has honestly taken a back seat in the last, especially since we opened the cafe in the last 5-6 years. So,
well, it
has been a lot.
But the last time I saw you,
you were in cosplay.
The last time I saw you was at the Renaissance Fair with my whole geeky giant Star Trek group, and you were definitely rocking some medieval wear. So clearly you are, and you were not vending at that show, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you just came out for the enjoyment of coming out to the Ren Fair. Now you were with the SGA, so clearly, I mean, I'm assuming there's a bit of a passion for that style of that type of event type of thing, right?
Oh no, I love it. It's so much fun. It's honestly the first Ren Fair I've been to in well over a decade, so it was nice to just get out and not be working for once, because I think that's the first time I've not been working the show in at least 10 years. So it's kind of nice.
Crystal's asking, sorry, where it was this place in Niagara? I missed it, serving a client. It's in St. Catharines.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what's the SGA?
The SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronism.
Yeah.
It's the medieval society.
When you go to the con, sometimes you'll see the guys, they're in full armor and they're essentially like almost LARPing each other. That's the SCA in a lot of cases. So yeah.
I see.
So the place in Niagara, it's a board game cafe.
Yeah. Fully licensed, food, menu, the whole 9 yards. Definitely check it out. I live in St. Kitts. There you go. So you can play board games there. You can get a drink. You can get some lovely craft beers, which I'm a fan of. You can get some food.
Yeah. It's right downtown.
Right there. Boom. Just like
awesome.
that. 52 at Paul Street. There you go.
It's St. Paul.
St. Paul? Is that what it is? St. Paul Street. There you go. St.
Street.
Catharines. I've walked by it before. There you go. Well, Natasha, you're old enough. You should get in there. I know you don't.
So you're saying cosplay has taken a back seat, but I mean, Jeff clearly saw you at the Ren Fair. We saw you at Fan Expo in cosplay was it Fan Expo? Or was it London? I can't remember now.
It was Fan Expo. I couldn't get out to London.
You didn't go it was Fan Expo.
Yeah, it was Grape and Wine down here, so I was stuck at the cafe.
Actually, you were in cosplay at Toronto Comic Con as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mean you're clearly still cosplaying?
Yeah. The trick is that I'm not making my own stuff a lot of times anymore.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
used to
fair
make
enough.
stuff just from scratch.
Mhm.
And now I'm realizing that with the backlog of things that I have in my closet, including all the stuff from theater and the productions I've been in, and just generally being a weird nerd who likes clothes, I have so many things that I can just closet cosplay with, and it's amazing. So the stuff that I was wearing at the Red Fair, that's just all stuff I pulled from my closet. It's just what I had around.
I do remember you freezing your took us off at Forest City Comic Con.
Oh, it was so cold. Yeah.
Because Steph's booth was literally right beside where the cosplay registration table was, and so I was there, and I think you did Velma that day.
Yeah.
And you definitely had regrets because they
Oh,
had
yeah.
cranked the environmentals up there to like 11. Like even I was in Witcher, and even I was cold. You looked frozen,
It was so cold.
but you were like, "No, we suffer for the arts. I'm vending and I'm cosplaying."
Sounds like somebody needs a Geeks Go hoodie.
You know, it's on my list.
Act now, you'll also receive. Any pics of Stephanie's cosplays? Well, Dean. Look at Dean, master of segues.
You know what? Yeah. Let's. Okay. You know what? You go on, and I'll bring that
Chris
up.
Slaskin with the business here. Can you just go for drinks? I'm going with a cosplay friend Saturday night.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Beers, fine, ciders, but honestly, the cocktails are nuts. Right now we have a smoked apple old fashioned, which is just, it's beautiful.
Old fashioned
It's
is
really nice.
my favorite cocktail. There's no question there. So, Unca JS, can you please say hi to Harrison? All he's saying is hi, Unca. Hi, Unca. Hi, Unca.
Hi, Harrison.
All right, that's the only wholesome moment you fuckers are getting out of this podcast. All right, that's it. That's all we're doing. So you used to make your own cosplays, which again, I think we can all have a complete lack of surprise with that based on everything else that you've done to this point. And you said that's kind of taken the back seat. Are you just buying stuff now? Like you mentioned closet cosplay. Are you commissioning other people to do it? Like how are you still finding ways to cosplay with all of your busy scheduling stuff?
A lot of it is thrifted. So Velma, completely thrift. Actually, the tank top I bought at Walmart, but like all thrifted. Most of my stuff is. The corsets I will buy online because I have made my own corsets before with a spiral steel boning. It's a pain in the ass. So if I can buy it at a reasonable price, I did. And there happened to be a really good sale, like a 3-for-1. So I just bought a couple. Actually, my next build that I'm doing where I'm actually sewing something for once features one of those corsets. So
nice. So now I'm going to ask you the series of cliche questions that we ask every single cosplayer because we have to, otherwise we'll get lynched for it. So favorite cosplay? I know you've been doing it for 20 years, so that's probably going to be difficult to pinpoint, but give it a shot. It doesn't necessarily, it could even just be one that you feel the best in, one that you had the best experience with, like whatever would make something your favorite.
Zatanna. She's my girl. I love it. I have Zatanna.
Because that's when you joined us at Toronto Comic Con. I think that's what you joined us in, right?
Yeah, and funny enough, I don't have a picture on hand. You didn't send me a picture of Zatanna. Okay, hang on. I've got some of those. Let me go grab one.
This is not
it should be in the file. I didn't know.
We usually have producer Jen in the background doing all this stuff for us, and we don't have her right now, so we're just kind of having to wing it. And by we, I mean JS. And we'll just give him as much time as we need. Dream cosplay. Do you have one that you've always wanted to do that you've never really been able to pull off, or might be in the works for the future? Oh, look at you right away. This is good.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you remember the movie Legend from like the early 80s.
Yes.
Okay. Dark
Tim
Lily.
Curry, are you kidding me?
So the black dress where it's like cut down to her navel and it's got this high collar and it's just like her evil version of herself.
Yeah.
That one.
Very cool.
I don't know how to make it do the structural nonsense that it has to do to make that work, but that is absolutely on my radar.
You just got to find somebody to do the Tim Curry part with the giant horns and the.
That'd be so cool.
That was a very, very good movie. Very, very early Tom Cruise film, and probably didn't quite get. It was a genre film that kind of got maybe overshadowed by some other films that kind of came out in a similar time frame, like Never Ending
Labyrinth.
Story and Labyrinth and stuff. Yeah. So, but I really, really enjoyed Legend, mostly for Tim Curry. But yeah, I do. Mia Sara? No.
Yeah.
The actress's name. Yeah. The girl from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right?
JM, you've got to write it. Yeah, Marco would do it. Actually, he probably could.
There you go.
I have a friend, my roommate, actually.
There you go.
Oh, that means I've got a lot of body paint that I still have kicking around. So
as
I
we
guess
do,
so.
we suffer for the art. And
Yep.
now you've already mentioned a future project. So whatever beans you can spill for future cosplay stuff. And then if you have any future sort of business things in the work that you want to kind of sprinkle out there, we'll get you to say that too. But we're still on the cosplay side of things. What do you have coming up as far as cosplays go?
I'm working on Enchantress from the Thor comics.
From the Thor comics.
Yeah, well, more inspired by like the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon.
Yeah.
It's just, she's so much fun. She's so awful. I love her so much. But it's just got
Spill the melons. Spill the melons, says Victoria, by all means.
You know what? Yeah, they will be in this corset. So
there you go. Of course,
yeah, just
sure.
The issue with that I'm having right now is the
headpiece
tiara thing. Yeah, because I've
that's what I
got
was
a
going to ask.
Loki
Is
base.
that the one you're doing, the red tiara horn things?
Well, it's because she's all green.
Yeah.
And with like,
isn't she red in
almost everything else?
Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
Maybe eventually. I know that she started in her green stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Victoria always comes through with the melons. She does, in fact, always come through with the melons.
Yes. You know, I for some reason I can't find a picture of your Enchantress, and you didn't upload one
Zatanna,
folder that you uploaded me.
You mean your Zatanna?
Weird.
Your Zatanna. Sorry.
That's okay. Let's
so
put pictures up of her cosplays though while we're talking here. Doing the Lord's work. Settle down.
Yeah.
I put that on my notes on Instagram, by the way. I put settle down, and I got a lot of reactions from that. People were like, "No, I will not, sir." I'm like, it's a live show. I just started watching Shorzy for any of my hockey.
Yes.
I just started watching Shorzy, and I fucking love it.
It's not shut up, but yeah.
Shorzy, no, it's great. And one of the characters on Shorzy, he's always said, he's like, settle down. So that's why I put it on my notes on my whatever. And people,
for those who don't know what Shorzy is a spin-off of Letterkenny.
Yes,
all the same actors.
Hockey spin-off. It's
fantastic. It's based on the hockey players, the two douchebag hockey players. It's their hockey league.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the main character also from Letterkenny also plays the referee, Shorzy.
Right.
It's just
Shorzy had no right being that adorable. I know, right? Especially like I just watched the season finale, and when they turn the jersey around and it's got the C on it, and he starts to cry, I was howling. I'm sitting at my computer with headphones on, howling like a loon. Yeah, I am enjoying it. Anyways, back to our guest. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to
Yes. We need to talk about this for a second.
Is that Dean?
It sure is.
Are you deaning it up there?
I sure am. Dean.
Is that a wig?
Yep.
How did you get all of that under that?
It's a lot of two braids. Best way I can describe the style is Princess Leia on Hoth, where she's got two braids wrapped around her head like that. And then pinned. Then wig cap, then that spin on.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
How much pie did you have that day?
So much pie. There was also at Ad Astra, the last Ad Astra I was at, and we had so much fun in that hotel room. We just partied. But there was also karaoke that night, and you bet that I absolutely sang "Carry On My Wayward Son."
Nice. I am not a supernatural guy, and I know when I say that, people are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But I just never got into the show when it was on. But I mean, at least I know that that's Dean, and he loves pie, so I'm not completely ignorant, guys, when it comes to supernatural. So, any future business plans? Now that we're kind of chatting about that as well, now that we talked about the future cosplay plans, is there anything coming up business-wise that we should be made aware of? While JS brings up any other.
We're looking at diversifying what we are doing. Because the glassware is great and it's great, but we've been working on some 3D print stuff that is wearable. These are brand new. These haven't been actually seen yet because I'm still prototyping them. They're little shoulder puppets. So it's got a little what's the word? Hydraulic kind of a thing where it twists and the head will move. So I've got a dragon on the way, and I'm working on a series of cryptids, and they're just going to be super cute. And that's what I'm excited about next. So that's going to be in the late spring.
So that'll be something that you'll have live at the booth. Like you'll add that onto your current product line.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been expanding the size. Oh, hex.
I know what this is because I was a massive fan of the show. We had another hexadecimal at Fan Expo with a digital face this year, which was really cool. I'm assuming you were a Reboot fan.
So much, yes. Yeah, I love hexadecimal. This is a cosplay one.
I got no dog in this fight. I got no.
You didn't watch Reboot?
I just didn't watch it. It just never came across my radar. So.
Yeah, what made you decide you want to do? Well, I mean, clearly your own version of Hex.
This one was actually I think it was just a challenge during the COVID lockdowns when I had nothing to do, and I was super bored. And there are a lot of I had just random things. I had these masks for a previous hexadecimal cosplay that I don't actually have any pictures of anymore, where it was with that headdress. And all the masks actually, they're magnetic, so you can lock them into each other and you can take them off. And so I can have a stack of like 6, and the main one's just staying on. So it's a lot of fun. I like the one with like all the teeth. It's just evil and amazing. She's so much fun.
Now, I'm sorry, folks. I'm having to unshare and reshare because there's a bunch of different folders here. But
slay is good. We like slaying. Slaying is awesome.
And here we go. Now, I mean, I know what this is, even though I've never actually seen the Hocus Pocus movie. And producer Jen made fun. Or was it her sister? Somebody made fun of me last weekend.
They share the same brain.
Yeah. Somebody made fun of me last weekend because I'd never seen Hocus Pocus. But tell us a little bit about this.
Okay, so this was my Halloween costume this year, and I was planning on doing something completely different, and then my students went, "No, madame, you need to do this." I'm like, okay, fine. So this was one that I bought just wholesale.
Oh, really?
Except the necklaces, I made that one, and then put this up into that. So that was just fun.
Can we go back to the previous picture? Man, them crazy eyes, boy. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Kids.
I love Bette Midler so much.
You can't fake that crazy. That's. I think we're getting a glimpse into her soul right there, boy.
If that's dealing with 550 kids on a regular basis.
Yeah, exactly. That's channeling that inner crazy right there, boy. That's.
Hey, look at that.
That is definitely damaging my comm. That's for sure.
I've actually found Zatanna.
Hey!
So that was this year as well. That was this year for Fan Expo. Now, this wasn't the first time you wore this cosplay. You've done this for a little bit now.
A while. Yeah. This is another version of it. I have 2 tailcoats now, a couple different shirts. Sometimes I just wear the overbust corset with the bow tie. I have 4 different top hats now. 2 of them are seasonal. One's a Halloween one with like spiderweb netting, and the other one's a Christmas one. Sometimes I use the color of the corset. Sometimes I do gloves. The shoes are always different. But the one tailcoat that I have is actually from a full 3-piece suit that is vintage from the 60s that I found at Exile in Kensington.
Does it smell like the 60s?
No, they take care of it. It's all good.
I always love a Zatanna cosplay because it's instantly recognizable. She's a fantastic character from, if you're a DC person, she's a fantastic character, but it's one of those ones where it's instantly recognizable as to what you're doing, but it's one of those ones I feel like almost anybody can put together relatively, quote unquote, easily. Like there's not a huge level of build it. It's like it's almost like a thrifting type scenario. If you can get the right pieces and parts to put together, and almost anybody can pull off a Zatanna and make it look good. I mean, you're obviously pulling it off and making it look great there too, but I just love that cosplay for people because it's almost like like anybody could do Zatanna. Like if you wanted to get into cosplay, this would be a good one for you to start off with because it's achievable. Like you don't have to be an expert crafts person. You could be, because Zatanna with a nice blouse, a top coat, and a hat, and maybe a wand and some fishnets, right? Like it's yeah.
Anybody can rock the fishnets.
Perfect.
Just go, just jump for it.
Yep. I agree. Yep. We approve.
Here's the Velma that Jeff was talking about earlier. Now we got to see the Scooby van at London Comic Con, but
well, at least she's wearing a sweater for this one because she was not wearing a sweater at Forest City. Unfortunately, at Forest City she had a tank top on, and she was a frozen popsicle for there.
Yep. That was at Niagara Falls Comic Con a couple years ago. Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks. Like, hey, Scoob.
With the Mystery Machine.
Yep.
That must have been the one we saw.
That's got to be the one that was at London. Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah,
it looks very, very similar too. Like the inside, especially, looks very, very similar too. Yeah.
It probably is. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to bring up one quick last one here. Let me see if I can bring it up here. I mean, this is one of my favorite properties of all time.
What's wrong with you?
We don't see a lot of Danas at the shows. We see a lot of Ghostbusters. We don't see a ton of Danas.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Only Zool. You're right.
And this is her as Zool. Let's be fair, right?
Yeah.
She is the gatekeeper. She's looking for the keymaster. That's for sure.
There was a lot of gold, shiny, a lot of gold. So much gold.
Did everyone, like, where did you wear this? Do you remember?
My house. This was during the lockdown.
Okay. Just thought like being Zool that day. Fine, just take some pictures. Wanted to channel my inner demon.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let it out. It's a lot more fun that way. Saves it from exploding.
I feel like that's definitely something, especially with the sort of the resurgence of Ghostbusters. I think this is definitely something that you should bring to an event at some point in the near future. Especially if you get a chance to team up with some of the Ghostbusters groups. There's like 3 or 4 of them now that kind of go from con to con to con. So
yeah,
this look
I should get that out again.
Stunning. Oh my god, agreed. Yeah, it's definitely like, now is this just a curtain you've draped on yourself for the sake of the photos, or did you actually put a dress together for this?
This was actually it bought the fabric specifically to make this, and then I didn't make it. So this is strategic pitting to be what it would be when I make it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's we've all been there.
The fabric wrapped around you, basically attached, and
like toga style. Yeah.
Take a picture where that looks right, and I mean,
glam gatekeeper.
No, we don't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We've all been there as far as that goes, but yeah, this you definitely got to bring that out to a con for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
That's fantastic.
Do you have any other shows for the rest of the year, or are you done now for this year?
I am going to the Gift Market at London in a week and a bit. 10
days out.
Whew, okay. I'll get on production.
26, pretty sure. So that's 10 days out. Yep.
Yep.
Market. Are you doing the Garden City Con in St. Catharines? Is that one you guys are doing, or no?
No, actually, because I'm in Montreal that weekend. So there's a Montreal mini con that we're going to.
Okay.
So that's the one we're doing.
Nice.
Yeah. And that will be the last show of the year.
You've got at least 2 shows left to go, like the Montreal and the London shows, and then that's it?
Then that's it until February.
And then are you going to both of those shows?
I'm definitely going to be going to London, and I'm trying to figure out whether I'm doing the Montreal one. Gotcha. Kind of up in the air right now.
That's fair.
Just because school, things like that. No, but yeah, the next one after that is Family Day weekend. That's Fan Expo Vancouver. It'd be nice to have like 2.5 months off.
Sorry, when is that again?
Family Day weekend is mid-February?
Yeah, in February.
Yeah.
No, it's too soon for me, man. March
No.
Toronto Comic Con feels like it's too soon. Like
Yeah.
I have so many cosplays in the works and I barely started any of them, and I only and I'm looking at the clock even now. I'm like, well, I got 5 months. That doesn't seem like enough time. 4 months, not even no 4 months.
4 months.
Christ.
Yeah.
So
Well,
stupid.
yeah, because it's early
Yeah.
March. Yeah.
Almost 4 months to the day.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking about it. I
Yeah,
think it's
Yeah.
the 15th.
You had to burst my
It's
bubble.
mid-March.
dude.
I know, man.
I was in a
it's
good mood
not-
now. Now
I'm
you're
just
pissing me off.
brother, we gotta get
Which, by the way, reminds me, December 2nd, we're trying to put together a Cosmos in the District, like we did last year, where we're going to cosmify our cosplays, and we're just going to go do the Christmas market. We're going to meet up. We're going to take some pictures. We're going to wreak havoc in the Christmas market. The nice thing is if we can get there before 4 p.m., it's free to get in. And let's be honest, if we want to get some pictures, we got to do it during the day. So the plan is to go to the Christmas market from 3 to 5, meet up, take some pictures, do our thing. The ones that want to go after that can go home. The ones that want to stay, grab some food, a little bit of booze. We're going to do the Christmas market at night. Same thing. Take some pictures of the people, just have fun and hang out. So, guys, if you're interested in doing the Christmas market with us, December 2nd from 3 to 5, let me know. Shoot me a quick message to let me know that you're interested. And then, yeah, if we have enough people, then let's do this. I think I've already messaged a bunch of people, and it sounds like there's a lot of people interested in doing it. Steph, mention your thesis.
Yep. So back when I just started doing the shows more with the glassware, I took some time off of teaching and did my master's in theater arts at York. And I wrote my thesis on cosplay and the performance of identity. That was a lot of fun.
Sorry, you're doing it on what? You did it. Sorry, say it again.
I wrote my thesis on cosplay and the performance of identity.
Oh, okay.
It was a fun ethnographic study, so I got to interview a lot of cosplayers. And if I had the chance to rewrite it, I absolutely would, because that was more than 10 years ago. We have more information about, more available information about gender identity and things like that is a little dated right now. So I would absolutely revisit that section. But mostly it looked at cosplay as a space where one can pause and actually explore things that they wouldn't normally explore in their daily life. Looked at cosplay as guerrilla theater, and especially as very performative ideas of what it is to be a man, a woman, or anywhere in between on stage and off stage, because it's a lot of hallway cosplay shows too.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
and I mean, they
performance art
call
at
it
the end of the day. It's
cosplay
performance art.
for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're putting yourself out
Costume
there every
play.
single time you do it, right? So
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that is Victoria's saying that's fascinating, and it really is. So the thesis is written and been handed in, and are you done your master's now, or yeah?
Oh yeah, like over a decade ago now. So that's
Oh, I see.
a master.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. You're a master.
I am.
I mean, you're a master cosplayer now, and you've written a thesis on cosplay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like
And I
to see
mean, I
anybody
also
else
am a
even tell me
master
they're a master.
cosplayer as well, because we won Best in Show at the master level in, I want to say 2008. It could be 2009. I don't remember. What we did it as the X Gentleman, which is like a steampunk take on the X-Men. So that was fun.
Very cool. Where can people find your stuff? Like if they want to buy your glasswork stuff or anything else that you have going on, where do people get any of this stuff?
The easiest way to get it is through Instagram at Red Moon Glassworks. Or you could email us redmoonglassworks@gmail.com. And we do have a website, but it is been a little bit heavy. They've increased the fees a lot for the fact that I have 250 designs. I wasn't going to pay individually for each design. So it's just honestly easier to message me on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you also have a new Instagram account dedicated to your cosplay, if I'm not mistaken. Do you want to share that with the folks at home?
Yeah, it's Red Tourmaline Cosplay. And I'm just putting some things up there. It's stuff that has not seen the light of day in a very long time. Some of these are pictures of actual physical pictures like back when I used to develop film and had to redigitize. So there's a lot of stuff that hasn't really been up on the internet before. So that's fun.
Pictures of pictures.
Yeah.
I have a lot of pictures of pictures from like old pictures. Yeah, I've got a lot of those.
Hi, we're old. How you doing?
Yeah, well, they call it cosplay over 40, but I mean, Christ, in Jeff's case, it'll be cosplay over 50.
Hey! I'm right here. I'm right here. What are you doing? Wow. You know what?
Oh, I haven't seen you. You've been. It's like you've been away for too long, bud. Like,
No, is that what it is? You go a week without me, and suddenly it's I see how it is. Yeah. Why don't you wrap this up there, JS?
Well, I mean, I think that's really it. I mean, Jeff, do you have anything else going on? You got nothing for the rest of the year. Well, I mean, you got a bunch of stuff. You always have shit going on.
No, believe it or not, I've really made sure that I don't. I mean, the Geeky Holiday Market's coming up. That what Stephanie was mentioned. That's on the 26th. That's literally in 10 days. I'm going to go out for that, but I'm not like involved. I'm just going to be like the 5-0 with the melons. Nice. It's good. I'm just going to go out and participate in that. And then there's a couple of like little things. I've got a gig with a school. I've got another gig with a Santa Claus parade, but none of them are like big things, right? They're all local. They're all one off, easy couple hours here and there. No, dude, it's time to like wind down and settle down. Do everyone a favor though. If it sounds like you have most of this Cosmos thing planned, but I've not seen anything in any of your accounts or the Geeks and Go, like start promoting that if you want people to come out for that. For sure.
So the decision was really just made this week, right? So
okay.
I wanted to announce it here. Yeah, I'm going to be putting some material together to advertise this.
Yeah,
let
thanks,
everybody
Nita.
know.
Hey, leave us old folks alone. And Natasha, Jeff is not old. He's aging like fine wine. Well, thank you, Natasha.
I mean, is that how that works?
That is, in fact, how that works.
Really?
The finest of wines. Dude, you're like 2 years. I love how you're like acting like you're like 30.
All right. So, guys, I think that's going to be it for this week, folks. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button, guys. It really, really helps us out. It really is completely free. It lets YouTube know that you like this content and it'll propagate it to the rest of the world. Same thing if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform. Click the follow button. Let those podcast platforms know that you like what you're, well, in the podcast terms, hearing. But I think that is going to be it for this week, everybody. Make sure you stay geeky.
Hang on. Thank you,
actually, Stephanie. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah,
this is something that we were kind of like ships crossing, so we finally got you on. I'm glad we could pick your brain about cosplay and vending and everything in between and get your opinions on all of this geek news. So please come on again. We'd love to have you on again, and of course we want to see you at the next thing that we're all at. So
I want to know what you think.
I'd love to be there.
Finish Lower Decks. Get back to me when you finish Lower Decks. Yes,
will do.
Oh, that free time she has.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's coming up December.
Yeah. How do you even have time to watch TV?
I don't even. It makes no sense.
I mean,
I do it while I make the glass. So we have a really big, like 65-inch in the workshop. So while I'm making the glass, that's how I watch stuff now.
Oh, there you go. That works.
Nice. Yeah.
TV in the workshop. Yeah, I need to put it, back it up in my workshop. That's what I need to do. All right, Jordan saying great episode. Thanks, Jordan. Guys, thanks for listening in. Stay geeky. We'll see you next week. Oh, next week? Who's on next week? Do you know who's on next week?
No.
You don't know who's on next week.
Nobody tells me nothing.
Ooh, we got a first timer again next week. I'm going to leave you guys hanging. We'll see you then. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.